Bright day everyone and mabuhay. Today we will tackle about Filipino cultural values. So what is Filipino cultural values? It's also known as Ugaling Filipino or Ugaling Pinoy. It's highlight the importance of uniqueness of Filipino cultures within the country's tradition. Means that the values are distinct and characteristic of the Philippines. Strengths and weaknesses of Filipino characters. The embodiments of a Filipino moral values, which means Filipino tolerate a double standard mentality, which can lead both positive and negative outcomes depending on our applications. According to Father Gorospe of 1969, as cited by Pilipes of 1995, Filipino values are ambivalent. This study shows that Filipino values is indeed had been characterized as either good or bad. It's depending to us how we see the outcome.
This involves empathy, helpfulness, and generosity towards others, especially in times of need. It's reflected in the concept of bayanihan and includes traits like trust and gratitude. Filipinos prioritize their family, showing respect for elders, care for women and children, and sympathy for relatives. This strong family bond influences their behavior in and out of the workplace.
Sense of humor. A resilient sense of humor is a hallmark of the Filipino spirit. It enables them to find joy and lightness even amidst challenges. Filipino use humor to stay strong. Even in tough times, they find joy and lightness, which help them keep going. Flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Filipinos possess remarkable adaptability and ingenuity. They thrive in diverse environments and excel at problem solving. Filipinos are quick to adjust and think of new solutions no matter the situation. For example, overseas workers thrive and in new culture, blending local practices with Filipino values. And in our daily life, we fix broken tools with discarte instead of buying new ones.
Another strength of the Filipino character, hard work or industry. Hard work is defining character of Filipino, demonstrated by their willingness to perceive and excel in demanding situations. They are recognized for their dedication and commitment. Filipinos are often known for their strong work of ethics, often taking risks to work abroad. Their determination and resistance enable them to survive challenging times. Another part of strength of the Filipino character is spirituality. Spirituality plays a significant role in the lives of the Filipinos. It provides them with strength, hope, and sense of purpose. A strong faith in God provides Filipinos with a moral compass and motivation. They often rely on faith to guide their decisions, especially during uncertain times.
Next is we have ability to survive. Filipinos exhibit remarkable resilience. They possess the fortitude to overcome adversity and rebuild their lives. So, ability to survive is one of the well-known strengths of the Filipino character. It shows how Filipinos can withstand hardships and still find ways to keep going. For example, typhoons, earthquake, and floods. Despite of those calamities, Filipinos can still find a way to manage and rebuild everything.
Extreme personalism. This is manifest into a tendency to give personal interpretations to actions such as pakikiusap, request, palakasan, power and influence, nepotisms, and favoritisms. Extreme personalism leads to graft and corruption, which is now pronounced in Philippine history, such as extreme personalism. It's like knowing the game is rigged. Imagine the training hard only to see others get ahead because they know someone is not just losing, it's knowing they never had a fair shot. It's like that sinking feeling when effort doesn't matter and connections do. It's frustrating like the system's unfair and your hard work is pointless. It's about losing hope when the game's rigged from the start. Extreme family centeredness, political dynasties such as Kamag-anak Incorporated are conspicuous manifestations of this dysfunctional Filipino value in the workplace. It is ever strongly evident in the public sphere that even the private organizations are not spread from the negative influence. The Filipinos' justification for this value is their strong and earnest desire to promote their families' interests. Sadly, thought its effect on productivity be in the public and private spheres in the inefficiency and functionalism, which are formidable stumbling blocks of national progress. It's like having a built-in support system but also built-in expectations. Imagine your family is your favorite team, everyone's got each other's backs, but you also feel like a pressure to play your part. It's like knowing that you can also count on them, but also feeling like you need to make them proud. It's not just about love, it's about duty. It's like knowing how to help out even if it means putting your own plans on hold.
Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline affects productivity and efficiency, undermining the Filipino work ethic. This can contribute to delays, unfinished projects, and a general disregard for rules. So, this encompasses poor time management or Filipino time, excuses or palusot syndrome, and a procrastination or manana habit. It also includes a casual work ethic and a tendency to violate rules. Colonial mentality. Filipino often favor foreign products and culture over their own, hindering national pride and economic growth. This can lead to a devaluation of local industries and tradition. So, this involved a lack of patriotism and a preference for foreign things. This can be seen in the preference for imported goods over locally made products.
Kanya-kanya syndromes. Filipinos sometimes undermine each other's success, creating a competitive and unsupportive environment. This prevents collaborations and limits collective achievements. So we have an examples of this, like crab mentality, where individuals pull each other down instead of supporting each other. Lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. Filipinos may avoid introspections and critical thinking. This can lead to a failure to learn from mistakes and address underlying problems. Examples of this. So, lack of analysis. So, students keeps failing math exams instead of thinking about their study habits, asking for help, or reviewing where they go wrong. So, they simplify, say, math is just too hard. I'll never be good at it. Emphasis on form rather than substance is a tendency of some Filipinos to value outward appearance more than the actual quality. Example is people buying expensive clothes or gadgets even if they cannot afford them just to show them off. In short, this gives more importance on look rather than the real value.
Father Jaime Bulatos described kami mentality as the tendency of Filipinos to identify with their family, relatives, or close group. This result is an us versus them perspective, where loyalty, concern, and moral obligation strongest within the in-group often to the exclusion or opposition. Of the outside it, such group-centered thinking becomes a defining aspect of Filipino identity and social relations. So Bulatos emphasized that the kami mentality strengthens unity, loyalty, and belongingness. Within families, and close friends, however, it may also create creative diversion. favoritism, or bias against outsiders, shaping both personal identity and moral values in Filipino society.
According to Father Vitelliano Gorospi, Filipinos are group-centered. This means their moral decisions are often based on the opinions of their family, friends, or community rather than on their own personal principle. Because of this, they tend to value harmony and group acceptance more than individual conviction.
Sakop mentality is a concept that describes how group dynamics influence individual behavior, particularly within Filipino culture. It suggests that individuals often prioritize the needs, expectations, and values of their in-group or sakop over their own personal desires or external standards. This mentality can drive both positive and negative social behaviors depending on the group's norms and values. Positive examples are community disaster relief. In the aftermath of a natural disaster in Zamboanga, community members or SACO come together to provide food, shelter, and assistance to affected families, demonstrating strong solidarity and mutual support. Negative examples is nepotism and hiring. A government official favors hiring relatives or close friends or SACO for government positions, even if they are less qualified than other candidates, leading to inefficiency and corruption. SACO mentality is a deeply ingrained aspect of Filipino social dynamics that can foster both cooperation and conflict depending on the values and actions of the group involved. It highlights the importance of understanding group dynamics and shaping individual behavior and social outcomes in the Philippines and Zamboanga Peninsula.
Filipino culture is characterized by strong values such as empathy, family ties, humor, adaptability, and faith. However, it also faces challenges like personalism, lack of discipline, colonial mentality, and a tendency towards disunity. Group loyalty often influences moral decisions, sometimes at the expense of broader principles. These strengths and weaknesses shape Filipino behavior and impact national progress. Addressing the weaknesses while nurturing the strengths is essential for the country's development.